Introducing Closing the Gap.
Hello, I'm Dana Howard, and thank you for taking time to learn more about the academic achievement gap in our public schools, and as well, what you can do to help close the gap. Closing the achievement gap, it is serious business.
It will require some uncomfortable conversations, examining truths about our future, and then our willingness to truly invest in our children. Here's why. The achievement gap is the disparity, the huge gap in learning, grades, and graduation rates between white and Asian children and students who are African American, Latino, Southeast Asian, and low-income white.
His teacher told me that they don't have science books here. So the teacher still had to give these kids this test, and they never was introduced to science. How do you think that make the kids feel when they don't have not one answer to one thing on that paper?
In Sacramento County,
Barely 1 out of 5 African American and Latino students
are graduating right now with what it takes to even apply to a California State University.
The numbers are more than just troubling. If these children don't make it through school, they most likely won't make it in society, and they are not going to just disappear.
And everybody always saying, why we like this, why we like this, instead of saying, why, what can we do to bring it up, you know, to bring us up.
You and I will end up paying for their medical, their food, their housing, or even worse, their incarceration. And for what? When these students are bright and talented, but for many reasons simply are not getting the same shot.
No money for this, no money for that. No, this school hasn't gotten a field trip in about 3 or 4 years since my son was in preschool.
These are students who could and should be the surgeons who develop the special techniques that might save our lives, the engineers developing better vehicles and ways to build roads. Realizing this in 2007, a group of business and community leaders formed Closing the Gap. CEO of Delegata, Kais Manufi, CEO of eRepublic, Dennis McKenna, accountant Phil Conley, philanthropist Cheryl Miles, former Sacramento Police Chief Albert Nahara, and myself, Dana Howard. What Closing the Gap does is raise money to give to organizations focused on closing the achievement gap. The money must be used to target the achievement gap in 3 specific areas.
I hope you listen to our stories, are inspired by them, and as well make a decision that you are and will do your share to close the achievement gap. And the best place to start, I think, is with you.
It's possible that a teacher could sit in a discussion about the achievement gap. And
like schools across the country, Elk Grove's Franklin High School constantly stresses the importance of good grades and how they can help lead students to college, jobs, successful lives. We met some high achievers with good GPAs, grade point averages.
3.75, 4.0,
3.6,
3.3.
I'm really proud of that.
Zuhair Sharif, 3.75. They've risen above many African American and Latino students who historically don't do as well in school as their white counterparts. Experts say quite often lower achieving students will criticize their higher achieving peers. Among Black and Latino students, the teasing is especially harsh. The hurtful phrase sometimes used for those who excel, acting white.
Some people would come up to me and they'd be like, you're not black, you're an Oreo, or you're white chocolate, or some things like that.
They don't try enough and they just give up. And they don't try and succeed since the statistics are already there. They're just like, why go to college?
Students notice who's taking honors in advanced placement classes with fewer numbers of African Americans and Latinos.
I mean, getting teased for taking an AP class is kind of ridiculous. Teased for challenging yourself it doesn't make any sense.
I hear from a lot of the boys in my class that being in honors English especially is not considered the coolest place to be, and that's really frustrating to me.
Teresa Bandy is one of 10 teachers at Franklin High who have been trained to deal with the social pressures on her students. She's seen the research about peer pressure and student popularity. For Latinos, popularity starts dropping off when students excel beyond a 2.5 grade point average. African American males begin losing friends at a 3.2, and the same happens for Black girls who go beyond a 3.5.
Based on what you've seen or what you've experienced,
Bandy believes frank group discussions help combat negative peer pressure.
I'm sure I have had students who could have come in at lunch to talk to me or come in after school or before school to work with me, but didn't because of the social implications of that.
I just, kind of thought about it. Why am I worried about what people think of me?
These students believe getting Black and Latino students to excel will take more than a few concerned teachers.
Is there anything teachers and parents can do about this issue?
But I think the strongest influence comes from the students themselves.
They'll continue fighting off criticism.
But then I usually say, well, I'm trying to get successful so I can come back and help you guys out.
I just ignore them, and I know what I want in life, even if they don't.
And it was the third time through, right?
This is English 101 at American River College.
I think it was a little difficult because
Crystal Farrington is one of 3 African Americans in this class. Inappropriately low numbers, she says, much like it was when it came to taking college prep classes in high school.
I'm puzzled too.
Puzzling, but Crystal knows it is one of the symptoms of the achievement gap. But she also knows that there is a treatment.
Even if you were going to go pro, you still have to get like a good degree so that because you're not playing football forever.
Programs like Closing the Gap that work one-on-one with students who historically fall into the achievement gap, providing them SAT counseling, coaching them step by step to college.
Just knowing that they have that kind of door open to them will make them try harder, because when they feel like they don't have anything to depend on, it kind of feels hopeless, and they just say, forget it, why should I even try?
It worked for Crystal. American River is just a stepping stone before she goes to UC Berkeley next spring. It was the coaching paid for by Closing the Gap, she says, that increased her SAT scores, her GPA, and made the difference in simply what to put down on her college application.
I mean, yeah, it's needed. There are some students out there who have no idea how the college applying process works.
The only time a counselor called me in or I went to go talk to them is if I wasn't doing well in a class.
Ku Yang doesn't falter high school counselors. There were 5 of them and 2,000 students. She says Closing the Gap, though, gives the students what the school system simply can't.
They just need motivation, and then you need to open their eyes to what's going to happen in the future.
And Ku and Crystal's future is now bright.
Dear Crystal K, congratulations.
It is my pleasure to inform you that
I'm delighted to welcome you to the College of Letters and Science,
California State University of Los Angeles,
University of California, Berkeley, for the spring semester 2009. Oh yeah.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for taking the initiative. Parents, don't wait for the schools to tell you what your child needs. They simply are too busy. Find out on your own, and then tell the school what has to be done for your child. Students, don't let anyone, not your friends, your parents, your teachers, convince you that working hard, taking the tough courses is not cool. Being smart, very smart, is very cool. Now, at Closing the Gap, we critically need your support. This isn't a crisis that big donations from just a few people is going to solve. Everyone must play if our community is going to prosper. So, if you can donate $10, $5, even just $1, that is great. If you're a little uncomfortable giving on the spot, by all means, take a moment to think about it. And when you're ready, visit our website at closingthegapusa.org, where you can click on the PayPal button and donate there. And when you're done, please Facebook and tweet all your friends to let them know. Times are tough, we know that, but with just a little from a lot, we are bringing huge change. We are turning this crisis around. We are closing the gap.